Hey there, hello there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond with yet another Degrassi video, and today's Degrassi video is the one I promised you from yesterday. I know that I said that it was supposed to be all in one day, but I had other things to do, so when I take this today, Thursday, March 26, 2020, you'll see it, I hope. So anyway, I just want to say thank you to the Degrassi Reddit community for basically allowing me to say my pieces, and then basically people just make some happy statements and all that. So anyway, this video is a follow-up to one I did a couple years ago. Remember when I was going off on my Degrassi shooting tangent, blah blah blah, and then I made a video. Yeah, it was last April. It was almost a year ago, I guess, because I remember that was the computer that kept having issues and kept turning off at weird times. But anyway, yeah, I got a new computer. I had a new computer after that, thankfully. But anyway, just want to say that, yeah. So when I did it, I talked about the principles of being a Degrassi principal. Of course, there was a pun involved, hee hee hee. But anyway, so I decided to do some Degrassi posts on the five principles in the Degrassi universe. Well, the thing is, I know that there's Degrassi High, Junior High, and you know Degrassi Junior High's principal was Mr. Lawrence, and Degrassi High's principal was unseen. But they were unseen. We never saw Mr. Lawrence, and we never saw the Degrassi High principal, so thus I can do it. So I did 5 posts on the 5 principles and saying why are they the worst and why they're not. So anyway, this was amazing. And I did the post saying that, well, ranking from 1 to 5. 4 people got their top 5. There were the one I didn't go with was Joey GG99 that said that it was Hatzelackle, Simpson, Pale, Radish, Shep. I disagreed because I'm like, well, how could Pill be number 3 ahead of a longtime principal? And then Ghostly Will said that it was Hot Sauce, Pill, Snake, Radish, and Shep. I'm like, you put Pill ahead of Snake? Really? And then Lunaflor said Simpson, Hot Sauce, aka Hatzelackle, Radish, Pill, and Shep. Saying that the last 2 were almost tied for me. But I decided to go with longtime contributor Hermione Weasley. Now, I would pronounce it Hermione, but I've heard videos with Hermione be the Harry Potter thing. I'm not a Harry Potter fan by any stretch. So anyway, she said Hatzelackle, Simpson, Radish, Pill, and Shep, as well as the other person, but I would go with her. So anyway, so first of all was Hatzelackle's. I know, actually, the strange thing is, I did a ranking. I did a ranking within that principles video. You can see it. I'll give you a link to it in the description of the 2019 version. I might actually replace that video with the 2020 version, this year's version. But no, I think I should keep it just in case you need to know what I'm talking about. So anyway, so let's talk about the number 1 principle, and that being Hatzelackle's. Well, when I posted 3 reasons why she was the worst principal and 5 reasons why she wasn't the worst principal. Why I said she was the worst was that Peter got away with murder, not literally, with what he did to Manny in her video, and for planting drugs on Sean to save his relationship with Emma. And then I said, to that point, not punishing Peter strongly for his errors. I think that's kind of the same thing, but you never know. And number 3 is having a tryst with Snake before Snake was principal. Why she is not the worst. She took charge of the school after the Rick Murray situation toward the school part. She took basic actions to expel Spinner and Jay for their roles in Rick's chaos, rightfully so. And to that effect, she didn't tell the police about Spinner and Jay's plan to destroy Jimmy, because that would have got them in deep shit. She never had to deal with a shooting in the time of her as principal. She never spied on her students, and she came in after Shep. She came in for her second term after Shep fucked up everything. And then she handed the reins to Simpson. So anyway, Hatzelackles was a pretty good principal. I always liked her. Because a lot of people said that she was the perfect principal in time of crisis, and basically a lot of students and teachers and parents liked her. So Ellie Yuki, who's one of my best contributors, said that when Emma fainted and she even suspected it was because she didn't eat. She didn't bother to contact her mom. Okay, that's why she might be the worst. 2 students attempted suicide, one on school property, and she didn't seem to give them any support after. And I actually said that, oh, well, Darcy, what about, oh, JT, and then Ellie said JT. I'm like, oh, yes, of course. So, yeah, so Darcy and JT tried to commit suicide. Well, JT, it was because, he had troubles with the drug dealer. Also because, and dealing with Liberty and all that. Darcy, of course, is because she feels terrible. Like, she pinned things on Simpson when she didn't want to admit her rape because she thought she was supposed to be perfect and all that. And basically she tried to jump off the roof because, she got Simpson in deep trouble. Even though, yeah, but Mandy pulled her back, and basically Mandy told Darcy to tell her parents everything. And so basically that's what happened. And Darcy ended up going to grad camp. Peter somehow got to go with her, and they both made up, Darcy ended up realizing about her rape and all that. Okay, so you're true. Yeah, true too. But Emma had a bad feeling about Hatzelackles because Hatzelackles was in that tryst with Snake. J Bay said Emma flashed the school during the Purple Dragon event under Hatzelackles, and I said, well, Emma received a lot of attention for that. Hatzelackles actually knew that Purple Dragon's policies were terrible, and that prevented Emma from being suspended. Like, she got a lot of detention because of the dress code. But, of course, it was later revealed that Purple Dragon would still sponsor Degrassi, but they would change a lot of policies. I think Degrassi forced them to make policies. And then, of course, Package Kit said that the whole giving Spinner second chance was handled pretty well. I love her for that. That's true. She was pretty good for that. She knew that Spinner wanted to redeem himself. Unlike Jay. Jay also got a chance to come back, but Jay basically said that the school was he was mad that the school just basically needed a scapegoat for this whole thing, and basically with Rick dead and Raj already gone, they needed a student, and they knew Spinner was a bad boy. And I think Jay obviously thought that Spinner was being coerced into it. Basically, they were put fear into Spinner, but Spinner did not do that. Spinner confessed everything. I guess after realizing he lost Jimmy as a friend, he did that and all that. And Spinner justifiably told Jay to F off, but they still remain friends. So Hatzelackles was the best principal. You got to realize that what she did, how she came into the principalship is like huge. There was even a deleted scene from a season 3 episode, I don't know which one it was, that saw Hatzelackles and Raj kissing each other. Okay. So basically, except for the whole Peter thing, I really hate Peter as a character because Peter managed to get away with everything and all that. A lot of people actually said that because Hatzelackles was trying to have Peter accrue some favor to Peter because, she and her husband divorced. It was the husband's fault, not Miss Hatzelackles' fault. So basically Peter got away with a lot more than he should have. Just ticked me off. Truth with Snake. I know it's just as much Snake's fault as hers, but anyway, she took charge of the school after Rick's thing and did pretty well. So everyone agrees that number 2 is Simpson. I kind of agree too. Simpson has had a lot of problems. All 5 principals have had some very bad moments. But anyway, why Simpson was the worst? I said not being proactive about Cam's problems and not preventing a suicide. Although, I guess someone might have said something, I don't know. Degrassi nudes. Need I say more? Was point 2. Point 3 is, at times watching him, we don't know if we got the lighthearted principal or one who had a lot of overreactions. Number 4, shootings and gang violence during Degrassi dances. And number 5, not handling the whole Black Lives Matter issue well. And I said why he isn't. Number 1 is for how he went overboard halfway through season 10. He never ordered cameras to be at the school. There was a police officer there, but all that. AKA, he never wanted to spy on his students. Number 2, no major favoritism, unlike Shep. And he tried to meld with the students, but it failed. And let's see if people have said something. Ranch said, quote, I feel like it's not entirely his fault that he wasn't proactive in dealing with Cam's issues. In fact, I don't think Cam really got much help from what we saw during his run on the show. Also, Simpson is the principal, so how have time to help out Cam when he's busy running the school? I don't know, just a thought. And I go, considering the same guy gave Raj crack for ignoring Rick's issues, I feel that Snake must have missed something. And then Unlit Lights, said, maybe, but the major difference is that Rick asked for help. Cam tried to deal with his problems on his own. I get that point. I like that point. They're saying all that. I mean, if Snake had realized something was wrong with Cam, he could have told Cam that help is right there when he needs it and all that. I mean, Cam did, kind of in a way, sign his own death warrant. No pun intended, of course. But, yeah. I get what they're saying. Cam's problems. And Eliyuki said he was willing to try new things instead of being stuck in old ways, like the ball chairs for posture. Really? Ball chairs? I don't realize that. He brought politics into the school. He liked to punish the entire schools for a few students, pardon. He created the remedial/rubber room to try to actually help students who were struggling. Instead of seeing Maya struggling socially and academically and basically the entire season having issues in deciding to help, he said she should just go to school somewhere else. I did not know that. Well, of course, I didn't watch a lot of Next Class. So I basically don't know. So yeah, so Simpson had a 50-50 chance. Like, Simpson took over from Hatzalakos after Hatzalakos decided to go to Saskatchewan to be with her ailing mother. Season 8, he was the prince. No, sorry. Screw that. It was season 10 he was there. Season 8 was someone else. Yeah, season 10. He got to be principal, and he was the principal all but for like half a season, if you will. Yeah, Simpson had problems. The problem with Simpson is that, we got the principal who cared about his students in a way. Because in a way that the Rick Murray situation actually helped Snake get better, because Snake realized that students needing help have to be helped no matter what the circumstances are. And he didn't want to be like, who. Like, I know he probably wished that he had helped Cam more so. But, I mean, he didn't anticipate Cam killing himself. Fair enough. Like, I understand and all that. So, yeah, so Degrassi nudes. I mean, like, how the hell did Simpson not fix the Degrassi nudes situation and all that? I know it was weird and, like, a lot of blackmail and all that shit. But, I mean, seriously. How did he not see that? And then, it was either he was good or he was bad. I mean, the students in season 10 did ask for trouble when they basically took advantage of him. Like Claire even. I agree. Get it. I understand. Yeah, shootings and gang violence. Gosh. I mean, gang violence never really hit the other principals. Oh, that. And the Black Lives Matter issue. Yeah, that Throwback Thursday episode was terrible. I don't know. Maybe there was a school board issue because some of the punishments seemed to be, maybe the principals didn't really want to enforce it, but then the school board said, you gotta fucking force it. It's part of my language. But anyway, I just have to understand that, and also why he is terrible is because he might have forced Tristan to try to deflect the Black Lives Matter issue. I mean, Tristan was bad as a student council president for how he was trying to please Holly J with the fact that he wanted to run the school like her reign of tyranny. Of course, Holly J got to be student council president because the principal who did that actually appointed her instead of a fair election. So yeah, Simpson had problems. Next up is the guy I always have a beef with. I've done three episodes, three episodes on him, like 3 videos, excuse me. And I went into my research in 2017 thinking he was just nothing but trouble and all that. And then all of a sudden I do my research, I get feedback from fans and a lot of other people. And basically I find out that his character and him, he wasn't that bad. And that is, of course, the first principal in the Degrassi Next Generation canon. That's Radich, who was a teacher in junior high and the vice principal in Degrassi High. And they basically said that Radich wasn't that bad of a guy. I mean, he was more caring than we think. I'll get to the more caring. I'll get more into that in my next video. But anyway, so why is he the worst? Well, A is he didn't change his 80s teaching style to cope with the 2000s and a new generation of students. B, he was mostly punitive towards students and didn't take criticism well, even though some of it was positive criticism. C, he left Rick to his own devices after Rick complained too many times about not making friends. D, his aftermath handling the shooting after it happened was terrible and seemed egotistical. And E, he never listened much to his students. Although you could probably say that the punitiveness and that. Why he's not. He lasted 4 seasons, nearly 4 seasons. He was 3rd in the run with the principals. No one took a knife into the school and went on rampage under his watch. Under Simpson's watch, it did. No student attempted suicide or committed suicide. Well, attempted suicide, unlike Hatzelackles. Rick was not straightforward with his issues, and that hurt Rick. And he never made rude comments to female students or overstepped his bossiness. Pill. Although you could kind of argue that he may have overstepped. Pancakes and Ketchup said that Cam committed suicide under Snake, not Hatzelackles. Right. And it said Radich was still better than her in the chat by a country mile. And I said to Pancakes, I said, Darcy attempted suicide. That's what I meant. I said attempted / committed. Yeah, and Ellie said there were 2 attempted under Miss H. Under Simpson, there was 1 attempted and 1 succeeded. And then I basically add a point that I forgot to add that why he's not the worst. Another reason why is that he was there for Craig when his dad died at the end of season 2, and didn't flip out when Craig was trying to destroy things at the luau dance by stating, "Let him get it out of his system." Like that was Radich to T as well, because Radich was the heir for Wheels when he lost his adoptive parents in a car crash. He was there for his students. All that. You could see him at the funeral, sitting right behind Joey. SCTW said that Claude did take his own life after when Radich was vice principal. I said, I'm talking about the reboot, and Radich was not the principal. Yeah, that's one good thing about Radich. I mean, he was there for Craig, and in what is that episode? The final episode of season 2, it was part 1 and 2, but part 2 is that you can hear in the background telling Craig there's no pressure coming back to school. All your teachers have been informed, and you cannot fail, because that would be the worst thing possible. And then, Radich was at that dance. Craig had illusions about his father, Albert, and basically trying to tear up the school. But Radich knew that Craig was just trying to get his anger out of his system. And he didn't flip out on Craig. He understood. And of course, that Saturday detention breakfast club standoff, it was kind of awkward. I mean, a lot of people said that Degrassi may have overshot the boundaries trying to recreate the Breakfast Club, but I think he didn't. I think it was okay. They were trying to play him off as being a sympathetic character, but it didn't work out. So yeah, why he's not ranked as high as Simpson and Hatzelackles is mostly because of the whole Rick Murray situation. I mean, if you took his style from seasons 1 to 3 and think, well, how bad could he be? Well, the thing is, he still would be number 3. I mean, he still wouldn't be higher than Hatzelackles and Simpson, but higher than the other 2, that's for sure. I mean, yeah, in season 2, he basically got a little annoyed with Emma's protesting of genetically modified foods. Now, Radich did, to say, Radich is a terrible principal about that, not listening to Emma. He did raise some good points. he did say that it was cost effectiveness, and sometimes school kids don't understand cost effectiveness. But you have a budget, and Raj said that there was been some cutbacks, and we're lucky to have a cafeteria. Oh, that he basically said straight out why it's not working out, and he thanked everyone. He was being normal, and Emma should not have had the flyers, and he took them away, and Emma was going to concede, but then Raj stupidly decided to do some kind of cafeteria commercial, I think to get back at Emma. I mean, if Raj had kept his mouth shut about that, Emma would have conceded, and Raj would have had a victory in his parade. But then, of course, he got mad about Emma protesting with the food fight. It wasn't Emma's flyers that did the food fight. It was just basically opportunistic food fighting. Like, was I involved in a food fight in high school? I kind of was, but I wasn't part of it. Like, I wasn't, actively throwing food. At one time, our high school did a seniors dinner, but did it during school hours. And so they had to put the small gymnasium as a cafeteria. But then there was, a major food fight and all that without much supervision and all that. That was kind of stupid. But anyway, so Raj basically thought that Emma had caused this food fight and wanted her to apologize and all that for everything. Emma did apologize for the food fight, saying that it should not have happened. But she also said that Raj was wrong in denying her the right to free speech and all that. And Raj was pissed off that Emma basically would not buckle down. So he basically kicked her out for a week. And then season 3, those Saturday detentions. I mean, I get that they wanted to do the thing. And I know that the actions of the students actually warranted detentions or suspensions for that matter. But why would you put them all in Saturday detention? Just didn't make sense. All that. Like Sean, Sean made some statements about Radish and all that. And Radish got upset. But you know what? It is what it is. And I think I said last month that, this whole Sean thing in season 3 was basically Emma being mad that Sean would break up with her. And of course, Sean going to Jamie's game and basically trying to be who he used to be. A hustler and all that. Jimmy and Toby deserved their punishments for changing the grades on the computer. Well, Toby was trying to get Jimmy to like him. That's kind of stupid by Toby. Hazel got in trouble for looking at some bad sites. Okay, fair enough. And Ellie for skipping classes. And of course, it was revealed that Ellie purposely did that to get some beef for her co-op, her journalism co-op, which it didn't work out. So yeah, the whole Rick Murray situation, all that. I'm taking a lot more time than I should. But basically, Rick was complaining. Raj took it as Rick trying to make friends, but he wanted Radish to force people to make friends with him. That's the problem. That's the whole thing that Raj took away from it. And even though Raj could have changed his tone, that deleted scene, he basically told Sims that this is not kindergarten and making friends is not part of the curriculum. He misread the situation. And that's what cost him dearly. That's what cost him his job. The school board, I think, was going to get rid of him anyhow, and Raj was just playing up the string and all that. So, yeah, that was amazing. Okay, so number 4. Actually, number 4 is who I thought was number 5, but I think people gave her number 4 because of the fact she didn't last as long as number 5. So, it's got to be Pill. Why Pill is the worst? Is that she demanded that students play her way or the highway. She wanted students to rat each other out. For example, in the season 14 finale, she wanted Drew to out other students for a prom fiasco. Number 3, she must have did something wrong as she doesn't come back as principal in next class. 4 is her cameras policy and snooping on students to ensure she did a good job caring for the students. And number 5 is the no affection policy. Need I say more? And also why she can't be the worst is that there wasn't really major violence in her term. She was only there for half a season. So he did deserve her punishment for being the kingpin of the Degrassi news scandal. So he almost went to prison over Pill's condition. The no cell phones and backpacks policy did make sense. And she did concede that Degrassi had solidarity when the students were trying to help Drew out in graduation. Not a lot of things, but Eliyuki said that the fact she didn't suspend Claire amazes me for that thing. But I said, technically she did punish Claire because she stripped Claire of her student council seat and gave Connor the valedictorian honors. And Eliyuki thinks that she didn't suspend Claire, but other people said that, yeah, it was a massive 2-week suspension for breaking the cameras and breaking the trust of the principal. So, yeah. So basically what ends up happening is that, season 14, she came in after Simpson got removed for his non-involvement in Degrassi News, if you will. She had her policies with the no cell phones and the no backpacks because of all the bad luck that's happened in Degrassi. Fair enough. That I get. I get it. And then, of course, her cameras policy, cameras in the school to find out what's happening. Fair enough. But she had them audio synced up to try to see what would happen and basically try to help out. That's how Claire got pissed off, because Claire was upset that Pill found out about her miscarriage and wanted to help. And then she realized the cameras were there to try to keep the school in order, and she's overstepping her boundaries. I mean, Raj overstepped his boundaries, but not as high and as Pill did. So, of course, Claire smashed the cameras and got in trouble. Of course, her problems as a principal, Pill, I'm talking about, of course, was in the season 14 finale. Drew made a promposal, that's a prom and a proposal, a prom proposal to Becky. But, of course, it ruined the no affection policy. I don't know why the hell Pill would do a no affection policy. It just doesn't make sense. Sorry, I'm just furious about that. I mean, the no affection policy was worse than the cameras policy. I mean, okay, cameras fine, but no affection? No affection? Really? Really? So anyway, Drew gets in trouble, and Drew is not allowed to go to prom, even though he's the student council president. So Drew takes his punishment with a grain of salt. His mom actually says that, why are you doing this, blah, blah, blah. Now, everyone says, oh, wait, Connor made a proposal. Connor technically did off of school grounds with Jenna. So, yeah, so Connor getting in trouble. I think Pill might have been helping Connor out in a certain way. I know people are thinking that, it could be what it could be. I'm not gonna say it because that's not the point. The point is that, Dallas and them, they had a fiasco because the boat that they were doing the prom on was actually scheduled 1 year later. So basically they missed out the boat by a year. Pardon the pun. But anyway, when Drew's mom hears about this, she tells Drew, you gotta save the prom and all that. So Drew goes into the school with the key codes and have the prom at the school. Pill's not happy. Pill wants Drew, before the graduation ceremony, to out other students. Drew refused. And then Drew is told that he will not be walking across the stage. He'll get his diploma, but he won't be walking across the stage. And she basically tells him that, I need to make sure that next year the students play my way. Well, Dallas heard that. And basically Dallas spread the word to the graduates with their cap saying, we love Drew. And then Pill realizes that there's solidarity and allows Drew to cross the stage and get his diploma. And all that. Which was great. And then, of course, next class, I actually thought that was the end of it for Degrassi Forever. And then they went with next class. I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway, so Pill got replaced with Simpson. Now, I think Simpson was going to come back because, they did an investigation and Simpson probably had no ideas about it. And Simpson, had to cool the jets. I think the school board was going to replace Pill. But I think that Pill's overstepping her boundaries was the final nail in the coffin. And I think Drew's mom would have said something. I know she didn't have a prominent role being on the school board, but she would have basically spread the word to her superiors, if you will, that Pill really was terrible and all that. And that Drew was not lying. Drew might have said something about Pill to his mom. So anyway, yeah, she really did terrible. Her way or the highway. And of course, guess who's last? That's right, the Shep. Any reason? Well, I actually had 4 reasons why he's not the worst principal. I said, there were no shootings or violent acts committed on his watch. He didn't go after students' privacy. He only lasted a season, or half a school year, if you will. And he had to live with Hatzelako's legacy. Okay, but why is the worst? His affections with certain female students. He didn't stand up for Jane on the football team until it was too late. He basically gave Holly J the student presidency because of her popularity. He had the issues with non-jocks and non-cheerleaders in his school, of course, the gifted class. And he did get booted because of his attacks on the school population. And basically, season 9, he was shifted out. Reaction? Eliyuki says the school was surprisingly safe that year when he was principal. Unless you count the Jane being beat up for her thing. I suppose I didn't get a lot of comments on that one, because I thought a lot of people would be ripping Shep into fucking pieces. Okay, so anyway. Yeah, Shep the worst principal ever. Well, he actually lasted a season, full season, whereas Pill only lasted half a season. But, I mean, Shep lasted longer than Pill and should have done better. Like, you can kind of guess that Shep was basically going to favor Lakehurst over Degrassi. Because, as you all should know, Degrassi and Lakehurst had to merge in season 7 after Lakehurst burned to the ground. Shep was not part of Degrassi in season 7. I always thought he did. He was in some kind of capacity. But, of course, you know, he got the principalship after Hatzelako's left for Saskatchewan to be with her ailing mother. There, I got that right. And then basically, you could tell his style of principal. I mean, Lakehurst was known for that. You know, a principal who really didn't care about academics and all that. He cared more about the popularity and the jocks and all that. Sav was upset because he wanted to run against Holly J for school presidency. And, of course, Holly J was given it by Shep. Sav was made vice president, to shut him up, in a sense. And then you got yourself the whole Jane situation. I mean, yeah, you put a football team on. That's the first time I think Degrassi had a football team. And basically, you know, Jane was on the team, and basically everyone harassed her, and Shep didn't do a damn thing about it. But then Shep kind of was on Jane's side in a will, but not for long. And of course, what is it? Causing a commotion. That's it. That's the episode when Claire and the gifted class were made to do a video on Principal of the Year. Shep being Principal of the Year. And I'm thinking to myself, how the hell did he become Principal of the Year? I mean, he just took over for Hatzelako's. I guess because of the football team, I don't know how he got it. And the fact of the matter is that, you know, he took over Hatzelako's. I have a funny feeling that they wanted to give Hatzelako's Principal of the Year, but because Hatzelako's left, they had to give it to the successor instead of maybe someone else. Probably because they like Degrassi deserves it. So, of course, Degrassi was in tatters. You know, he hated Connor. Shep booted Connor out for being different, in a sense. Claire takes the cause up to find out about Connor's thing and try to help Connor out. So she does. She likes to help. She does her job. And Claire was bearable. I mean, she took a cause that was very noble and all that. Emma did too, but it didn't really work out that way. So anyway, what ends up happening with it is that they get footage of the Shep basically insulting students who are different, quote unquote different. The whole school season, then basically they walk out. The whole football team actually walks out on Shep. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, like, you know, Jane led the walkout. Shep is upset. But unfortunately, Shep doesn't get to enjoy much longer, as the school board, who didn't feel like firing Shep for this, basically kicked Shep to the curb and put him in sensitivity training. He tried to get better, but I don't think he really helped out. And I think the students basically were still upset by his lack of leadership, so they booted him out, and Hatzelako's came back. I think partially in a way because Peter was a mess without her. And, you know, Peter was emancipated, but Peter was a mess. He didn't want to go to Saskatchewan, and his dad didn't want him to do anything. I don't know why. Yeah, the Shep just didn't do it. And surprisingly, he lasted one full season. I would have thought they probably would have given Simpson the chance to be principal. I know Simpson was interim principal, but I mean, I thought Simpson was going to take over for good. I think that was the rule. Okay, so anyway, thanks for watching this Degrassi video. And there'll be more to come in the coming days. And a reminder, be safe during this COVID-19 scare and all that. Don't let COVID-19 scare you and make you paranoid. That is the last thing we need. A group of paranoid people. So anyway, this is Jeff Diamond signing off for now.